Well, good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining today's webinar. My name is Tom Robbins, and I'm with Kentico. And one of the big things, if you work with Kentico, is that, we really try to partner with who we feel is the best in the industry to help solve problems that we know our customers and partners are having. One of the big things that we hear consistently is about Internet accessibility and ways that we can solve it. And certainly Kentico works very hard at making this easy, but we also realize that there are experts in the industry who can really solve this kind of problem and provide a world of information, which is why Kentico is really, and I'm actually really happy to announce that we've partnered with the Bureau of Internet Accessibility, who's been kind enough to join us for today's webinar, and they're going to actually discuss their solution. So joining me from the Bureau of Internet Accessibility is Kim Testa, who's a director, and she's going to spend some time talking about their solution and ways and things that are important about Internet accessibility that I know I consistently hear from customers and partners all over. As we go through today's webinar, if you have any questions, please feel free to pop them into the question pane, and you can ask those as part of your GoToMeeting interface. And like all of our webinars, barring any major technical issues, we are recording this and we will post this up and make it available at devnet.kentico.com/videos. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Kim. Kim, are you there?
Yes, I am. Thank you, Tom.
Great.
And thank you, everybody, for taking the time to learn about the Bureau of Internet Accessibility and accessibility in general. And as we go through the brief PowerPoint presentation, and then I'm going to do a demo of our tool, and you will definitely see the power of the tool and why we are in existence and how we can actually help. First of all, when the Bureau of Internet Accessibility started, there's a need out there. Organizations are frustrated with the Internet accessibility because the rules when they first came out were very vague and complex. A lot of the rules that were presented after a scan was done or an evaluation was done on even a single web page, it was missing a clear path and a clear understanding of what you were supposed to do. And then you realize what you have to do, and then it was very complex and understanding and really being able to view and fixate inaccessible issues in a coherent way. The current situation out there, as Tom had mentioned, there is a lot of buzz out there, but the stats are over 97% of the U.S. government websites are unaccessible, and then 99% of non-government websites globally are not accessible. The issues for why they're not accessible, people will say, well, it's expensive to fix all of the rules. It requires setup and configurations of different softwares. Everything is confusing to use. It doesn't provide managers with a prioritized level of compliancy. And the list goes on and on and on. But most importantly is the methodology for resolving the issues. What are the issues? How do I understand them? How do I fix them? Where do we begin? We established the BoIA in 2001. It was established by a group of Internet professionals who saw this need being their clients were coming to them saying, what are these rules? How do we fix them? Where do we begin? That's where we began building the tool. Since then it has evolved and grown, and it is really a very, very powerful tool out there. We are a member and a partner-driven organization, and our testing enables all organizations, no matter who you are, if you're a mom and pop shop or if you're a huge government organization or a large corporate organization, we provide you with these testing, with the test and the prioritized reports. As far as our service, we provide automated website compliance testing. It's for Section 508, which are the U.S. rules, and WCAG 2, which are the global rules, which is pretty much what everybody goes by at this point. Our service is web-based, There requires no software installation, no configuration. We literally grab your website, pull it onto our servers, and we run all of the hundreds and hundreds of rules against all of the code in your site. The first scan is always free, and we do have member services which range anywhere between $20 and $50 per month. So it is very affordable to everybody out there. The current scans that we do have are for Section 508 WCAG 2, and we also added link checking in there. We pretty much, as I had mentioned earlier, what we do is copy all the content of your web, bring it into our servers, meticulously check each page. We don't do a page, one page at a time. We grab your entire site. So at the end of the scan, when you receive your results, you have a full prioritized report for you. We also take it a step further with showing you what the rules are, what the issues are, the line of code where the issue occurs. We also provide you with suggested remediation. So even if you don't have any knowledge of 508 WCAG 2 rules, we teach you along the way with providing you with the suggested remediation. The goal of our tool is pretty much to eliminate the barriers that are on the web and on websites so that anybody, no matter what level they're at, can access the information on your website. There's no discrimination being formed there, and as far as the barriers and who is implicated and who is involved, and it is anybody that with blind, low vision, if they're photosensitive, age-related, and now with the growing population and older generation, there are these, your audience is growing larger. The governing bodies of the standards. Section 508, if you're not familiar, in 1998, U.S. Congress amended the Rehabilitation Act. They put in all of these laws, so the laws apply to the federal government in the U.S. for Section 508. However, if you're doing business with the federal government, this does trickle down to you because the federal government now is requiring your website and your anything or your digital to be compliant for Section 508. So whether you're, say, a college that gets grants from the federal government, you are affected. If you're applying for Medicare, if you have a hospital that gets some of their monies through Medicare, you will be affected as well. WCAG 2, the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, once again, there are a series of guidelines and rules that were established by the W3C, the Web Accessibility Initiative, WAI, which really explains to the developers and authors how to make their content accessible to everybody. So you have all of these laws and all of these rules in place to help improve your website. Who cares about Internet accessibility? Everybody out there. What I've done here is broken it down, the U.S. federal agencies. Now globally in Europe and in Canada, there are more stringent rules that have been adapted recently. Hopefully the U.S. will be coming up to standards with that as well. So you have government agencies, education, higher ed, healthcare, private organizations, large corporate agencies are all affected. The benefits for Kentico. This is where this all comes into play. Your sites will be accessible, and they will be ranked higher in search engines. SEO and accessibility have a lot of overlap, and they play hand in hand. What we found is that as our members have used our tool and they have made adjustments to their websites, what they've found is organically their rankings have come up in the search engines. A search engine is very similar to a reader. If the code is done properly and it's clean, your rankings will go up. It will also increase your user base by 20%. There's 20% of the population out there globally has some sort of visual impairment or cognitive impairment. So if you're missing a large portion of the population, by fixing your website, you will have all of these additional users. The other the other point that I'd like to make are the discriminatory legal action that has been taking place a lot recently, both domestically and internationally. For example, Target, JetBlue, I think Penn State, they were all successfully sued because their websites were discriminatory against the visually impaired and the blind. We have, and there's, as far as the deaf, there's all of these different rules that do need to take place, and to really make sure that your website is accessible, you're not missing part of the population, you are out there and you are really bringing in a lot of people to your sites. The other thing, it's good business. For any of the Kentico sites, it's just really good business. It shows that Kentico is progressive, you're knowledgeable about the internet and the trends, and it will really keep your clients ahead of their competitors. Going back to a previous slide, 99% of the websites out there are not accessible. With Kentico bringing this forth, it will really show all of your competitors that you're on the cutting edge and that you're really on top of all the internet trends. For accessibility, you have two options to go by. You can be the reactive company, or you can be the proactive company. Reactive, you're going to be there and you're going to wait for a complaint to come in. An attorney may contact you. You have damage control with the press, media, etc., or your boss or management team as to why you thought accessibility was not a priority. That's a reactive, and then eventually you're going to have to fix your site anyway, especially if a lawsuit comes in. Proactive, you can monitor your site on a regular basis, find and fix the issues. And that's where the power of the BoIA tool comes in, as that proactive warning system. It will monitor your site every month. Every month you know exactly where you stand. We have reports built in that you can print out. So it's not only, it's cost effective, the scans run every month. It also gives you that in-depth scope to the current accessibility issues, which there are a lot of them. And it is done on a regular basis so that you're constantly monitoring any content. You can deliver to your client a perfectly accessible website. However, once they touch the content and they start adding content, images, etc., there are going to be issues. Every month we have, when we're with a lot of our members, when we run the scan on their site, it was perfect one month, the following month we're finding issues. So there are always little things. Along with the 508 and WCAG 2 rules, we also scan for broken links. If you have broken links on your site, no one, whether they're visually impaired or not, are able to access the information. And then, of course, the detailed reports that we provide with the suggested remediation. Excuse me. We also have a partner portal for all the Kentico developers. The portal can be, it's a form that you can put on your website. And with this form, anybody that comes to your site and fills out a form, a request for a free accessibility scan, will go in, they put their name, their phone number, the URL they want scanned. We authenticate it to make sure that it is not just spam, and then we collect these for you. We run the scans, we send the results to the person who signed in and who put the information in that form. Once that information is in there, we give you access to where you would log in to our business portal. In that business portal, we'll show everybody that has come to your website, filled out the form for a free scan, and you have all of their information. Now, this also gives you a lead. These are all leads that have come in through our form for you. And it's a warm lead. Obviously, they're looking, and you know what they're looking for, content management, and they're also looking for accessibility. So we have that for you there as a business portal and in this business partner of BoIA. So within this portal, it's organized so that you can access all of your clients' data with one single login. You log in, it's all there. And my information is on the bottom of the screen here, which if you're interested in that, you can contact me and I will get you set up for that. The BoIA also provides with that simple form that's placed right on your site. So it is a partner portal. All of the authentic entrants that will be come to your form and fill out their information. It is all, as I said, all placed, and it has become a huge lead generation opportunity. Okay, what I'm going to do right now is, because these PowerPoint presentations can be a little bit boring, I am going to jump right into the demo here. And I'm going to sign right in. And when you come to our site and you need your to access any of your information, you will be brought here to our site. You would then put in your username and your password. Log in. And this is what you're being brought to. This is where you would log in to gain access to all of your reports. With just a little bit about this dashboard here and the way it works. For this demo, I'm going to use the tsa.gov website. Within here, if you do have multiple clients on the business end of it, if you have multiple clients or multiple websites under your control, they would all literally just line up down here. Each one has their own report. Each one can have different people that would be able to log in to view and fix all of these reports. You have your grade. We have a synopsis here is partially accepted, the date that it was scanned, and then the membership. And if you wanted to purchase, you simply click on that. If you have multiple websites here, you would put, and you wanted to do a search to find one of them, you can put it in here, search, and it would pull it up automatically for you. And up here is just some more My Info, organizations, address, site feedback. First, let's click on the broken links for TSA. Simply clicking on the links, it is a drill down process for you. There are many different types of broken links, and these are the ones that we have found here. 404s, these are the ones we suggest that you go in and fix automatically and right away. Simply click on the report, and what we do here is break it down into all of the different broken links that we do find within the website, an entire website. If you would like to view it in page, you simply click on in page. And what we do is right now we're going out, we're grabbing that page, and we're pulling it in for you so you can view the broken link in page. We highlight it in this lovely shade of green here. So if you were to click on that, it's going to show you that there's a 404 error. And then you can also, we have it up here as far as your dashboard, you can view the source simply by clicking on View Source. And here you can see the lines where this particular link is in a couple of different lines. Alrighty. That's for all of the broken links are the same, and you can go in, view in page, view the source, however you would like to. What we have done here too with these reports is, number one, they are all prioritized. However, we do try to keep it as simple and easy as possible for anybody to go in and use, whether you're a developer or whether you're a marketing person that needs to go in and pull these reports. Section 508, we have all of the different rules here that are put forth by Section 508, and what we have done is broken them down into a prioritized report. You have your critical column, your actual, and your possible. All of these reports are all drilled down. If you're not sure what this text equivalent for every non-text element is, you can click on it and we pull up a brief description for you. To drill down into the reports, you simply click on the rule and we drill down. So this particular one has 132 URLs and it occurs 175 times. If you would like to view the images, you click here, View Images. We're grabbing them. You can view them with a little in a preview pane here as well. So what we've done is pulled in all of the images here so that you know what the media is. Once again, if you'd like to go and view it in page, you simply click on in page. We're going out and grabbing that right now, pulling it back in. And this is, and here it is right here. And this is the area that the image that was doesn't have an alt tag, so you can view the source. And by pulling it in, we tell you the line of code that this is on, where this error is occurring. We also tell you the empty alt attribute. Here it is, as far as the alternate text must be provided for all non-text. But then we also tell you how to fix it. So if you're not familiar with any of these rules, we give you some before and then some after code. And that's to assist you. Now, this is suggested remediation. There may be another way for you to do it. However, this is what we suggest. We also tell you what it's violating. It's not only violating Section 508A, but it is also violating WCAG 2 1.1.1. Now, a couple of other things on this window, on this pane, where you can up here view all of the issues on this particular page where this image is occurring. You can view all of the issues by simply clicking View All, and they all come up and they show up here for you. So on this particular page, when you're in there fixing, you can go in and you can view all of the different issues. Another thing that I would like to point out, there are, within WCAG 2 and within Section 508, there are a lot of different shades of gray. Within these different shades of gray, we like to give you the availability to make a decision whether or not it is an issue, an accessibility issue, or it's not. And you do need a human interaction. The scan will get you 85% of the way there. There are a few rules that you do need a human to go in and make a decision. And because of that, we give you the option by clicking on this little blue tool here to make an exemption. Where this comes into play is if you've read this, you've looked at the code, and you feel that this is not, that you are in compliance, that this is not an issue, we do give you the ability to exempt yourself. We do suggest that you're very careful in your selections. However, we do give you the availability to do this. The other suggestion we have is you can click on that, I confirm full compliance, or what we suggest is that you would go in here and you would put in a reason why you're making the exemption, and then it hit save. Reason being is we track everybody that's in here and who is making these exemptions and who's working on your site. At the every time we run a scan, and I will show you this later on in the demo, there are reports that are generated. Within these reports that you can print out are all of the exemptions that have been made and who made them. Excuse me. So you do have there is a paper trail for whomever is working on this. So for example, if you have someone working on it and they don't feel like doing a lot of this stuff, they may just exempt, which is the wrong thing to do. But we do give that in there for you. Now, while you're looking at all of these, there are a few different views that you may have dependent upon how you like to work. You can view this particular page with these rules on it and view all of the lines of code. So with this, it's showing you where in the code these are occurring. Sometimes when we do a scan, we may scan it, say, on the 16th, and on the 17th when I view it, the lines of code may have changed. So we like to give you the availability to go up either a couple of lines or below, so you know exactly when you're opening your code that you can see where these issues are occurring. Now, along with this, I'm just going to bring it back to problem lines. Along with this view, we also give you a summary table. These are, all of this up here is the same that's down here. So if you wanted to view, instead of clicking on the details here, if you wanted to view what was possible, what are the severe violations, you can simply go here, click line 262. It will pop open for you, and it will show you exactly what's wrong. Now, this particular line has, within this code here, there are 5 issues that have been found. And these are all presented here. So this would, for example, this particular line of code here, you definitely would not want to exempt yourself, especially seeing that there are 5 different types of violations here on this one particular line of code. Okay, let me just go back here. And okay, so that's how you can jump to all of the different areas within the back office here when you're logging in. And for Section 508, you can go through each one of these rules here, and it would pull up everything here. Wow, this is pretty bad. Text entry field. Let's click on that and get an idea of what's going on here. Now, TSA is a government site. This site is supposed to be compliant, and as you can see, it's pretty well out of compliance here. Let's just click on one of these. And here it is here. On this particular line, here is the error. Here is what it's violating. And once again, view all. You can wrap the code, HTML font, whatever you're looking for here. But then we tell you the page source and the line. Okay, let's go to WCAG 2. So as you can see, WCAG 2 has many more rules than Section 508. They have A, AA, and then AAA. AAA is pretty hard to, there are some of them in there that you can go in and fix, but to be AAA compliant for WCAG 2, you have to be pretty dedicated to get that all done. And once again, within this particular report, we have critical, actual, and possible. So everything within the back is there's consistency with the way you're looking at any website and the particular reports. One other thing I'd like to point out is we also tell you how many pages were scanned, how many broken links they were up here as well. Now let's just kind of let's go down here. This is a AA. Click on that. And 51 URLs occurs 951 times. And we can view the source. And once again, as you can see, we are have the suggested remediation for you within all of these. Whatever issue we find, there will be suggested remediation for you. View all of the issues. On this particular page, there are many. And let's go to the summary table. So as you can see, one other thing I'd like to point out here, on this particular page, because this is, I don't know if I can minimize that, but over here you can see a lot of this, what's being found on this page are possible violations. So when we do, for these reports, what we do suggest is that you address all of the critical issues first. When anybody looks at this initial scan that is done on any website, it may be very overwhelming to see that there are a lot of issues within any website scan. What we recommend is that you start with the critical issues, the actual issues, and then the possible issues. And with that, usually when it breaks it down a little bit for you so that you're not so overwhelmed and you do go in and you actually fix what has been found. And as a member, we do run a scan for you every month. However, as a member, what we also let you do is run an unlimited amount of scans. Where that comes into play is, for example, you've logged in, you've started, and you've gone in and fixed what you think are all the critical issues within your website. Your next scan isn't due for another 3 days. However, you'd like to go in and see if you've missed any of the critical issues. You would be able to then just click on, when you go into site information, there'd be a button here where you can hit new scan, and that would run a new scan for you. And you have an unlimited amount of those that you can use. We don't dictate how many. If you're a member of ours and you signed up with us, we let you do that because we know how important it is to try and stay organized when you're going in to fix all of the issues that are found. So now that we're in this part of our back office, what I'd like to show you is the grade level, and more particularly these two reports here. I don't think there's going to be very much information in there because this is just a demo. But what I'd like to do is, let's see, I'm going to generate this PDF for you so you can get an idea of the type of reports that you can go in and print up. You can hand these to your clients if you're taking care of the website. If you're the owner of the website and you have management that you need to report to, you can print these reports out. And as I had mentioned earlier, it will show what is done, where the grades are. This may take a while because there's a ton of information within the site. But these reports are really good to have to hand to either upper authorities or anybody that's coming to your site. Let's just open this one up. Okay. So it'll have who did the report, the URL that was done, and of course a table of contents. This is a general overview. We do go into what the laws are and the rules so that if anybody that you're handing the report to is unfamiliar with it. Now here are the Section 508 checkpoints. This isn't a detailed report that you have within the back office where all the rules right down to the line of code are given. However, this is a type of report that would also, on a high level, show you what is in what needs to be done and what has already been done. And this is the WCAG 2. And once again, here are the rules here. So the reports are pretty much the same, and it just tells you what is left in there. Now let's just go a little bit further down here where the exceptions or exemptions would be. This is a checkpoint, and this is where the different types. So this one, I'm sorry, this one report does not have the exemptions in it. The other one does. So if there were any exemptions, the report is very similar to this, and it would show what line, what the exemption was, who made it, and why. Are there any questions? Have any questions come in?
Hi, Kim. Well, actually, that's fantastic. We actually just got a question in. Do scans indicate potential problems with non-PC device, tablets, smartphones? Oh, and another one just came in too, asking about the mobile aspect of this, which you know is pretty hot in today's world.
Absolutely, very, very hot. Well, a mobile app is nothing. If it is a web app, we can scan it. Pretty much any web, well, it is a website. As long as it's considered a website, a web app, we can run a scan on it. If we can get access to it, we can run the scan on it. Within that mobile industry too, there's still a lot of questions out there on how the device, like for example, a site may be scanned and it may be accessible. However, when dependent upon what mobile device you're using to access that particular website determines how accessible it is. The site may be accessible, but the mobile device is not accessible friendly yet. And there's a lot of discussion going on right now about that and how some of these devices, mobile devices, tablets, phones, etc., are hopefully going to become up to be a little bit more user-friendly. Does that answer the question? I
believe it does. And I think for now, those are the main questions that we had.
Okay. In regards to our back office and the way everything works here, it is all pretty much the same no matter which area that you are in, except the site info. And that, the reports are all there. You can drill down, see what's going on back to your sites. You can also, I don't remember if I mentioned this, but you can have multiple users. And when you have multiple users, that would be able to access one site at a time. You may have, for example, you may have a client that you're taking care of their website. However, you want them to have access to these reports because they're in there constantly changing the content, or they're uploading images, and they may want to see, do all these images have alt tags? So they may have access as well as you. So for example, you may be the master administrator, but they would have access as well, if you so choose.
So Kim, we had another question that came in. which
Okay.
talks about, do you scan for progressive web ability for orientation and resizing?
Say that. I'm sorry, you cut out
Oh,
just a little bit.
oh, no problem. It says, the question just says, do you scan for progressive web, the ability for orientation and resizing? In other words, errors because tables, navigation elements, and graphic elements meet the standards.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Those are all part of these rules. There are a lot of, let me see if I can, tables and frames. Here's one right here. We scan, if it is a rule put out by 508 or WCAG 2, they do get scanned. And the tables, there are a lot of issues that we do find with tables on websites. I'm just going to see if I can find an example for you. Yeah, I'm just going to see if I can find an example for you. There's keyboard issues. Yeah, this one doesn't look like it has very many. Yeah, we do. The answer to that question is yes, we do.
All right.
I just thought I'd be able to find a quick example for you here. So that's pretty much our tool regarding the way it works, what we scan for. There are, one other thing I'd like to point out within each one of these rules, there are many rules below them. These are the high-level rules. I'm going to jump into one other thing I'd like to point out. So we were in WCAG 2 checkpoint 1.3.1. On the critical list, these are some of the sub-rules that we do scan for. So it's not just one line, one rule. There are many sub-rules below each one of these. So in regards to the depth of our reporting, if it is a rule out there and it is included in WCAG 2 or 508, we do scan for it. And it isn't just the high level, it is all of them. Another thing that I would like to point out too, there are other tools out there regarding types of accessibility. However, you're only allowed to scan and look at one page at a time. Because our tool is so powerful, we do grab the entire website, so you're seeing a full, complete picture of what's going on your website, and you have all of the details and how to fix each one of those rules. And let's see. I think that's about it regarding here, the simplicity of it. It looks simple, easy to use. However, what's going on in the background is extremely complex. And bringing it all forth into these prioritized reports, we felt as we were building this tool is one of the most important ways to bring this forth to an individual or someone using this tool, because if you're overwhelmed and there's too much and you're just getting a bunch of lines of code with a lot of different issues that you don't know anything about, you're not going to fix it. Our goal is to help you and aid and assist in making the web more accessible and all the websites accessible too, so there is no more discrimination against anybody for any of their abilities or disabilities.
So Kim, one of the questions that we just got in is someone is asking, so for low vision on smartphones, the user would need to gesture to expand the text to be able to read it on the smaller format. I'm assuming that's one of the requirements?
Yeah, that's and that's something with the mobile devices that as I said, the site itself can be accessible. If the mobile application or the mobile app doesn't let you enlarge, then it's going to be difficult to use. I think National Federation of the Blind, oh goodness, I don't know, I think it was one of the tablets that was being dispersed to a lot of organizations for educational was not compliant. And that's what they have to, that's where things need to get fixed, is the app, is the device itself. But to answer that specific question, yes, you would have to enlarge the text or just expand it, depending upon what device it is.
Okay, sounds great. And certainly, folks, feel free to send in
Any questions? And also, if you have any direct questions, please feel free to contact me directly. My email is kim, K-I-M, at BoIA.org. And my direct line here in the U.S. is 401-383-5332. And I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have.
All right, great. So for those attending, please feel free. Why don't we take a minute or two, and we'll let you ask any questions that you may have. And it sounds like, Kim, we are getting close to wrapping up. So I'm not seeing any additional questions. Is there, once again, if people wanted to get in touch with you, what would be the easiest way to do it?
Email is always easiest, and as far as the phone, I do take all my calls, and they're all forwarded to my cell phone, so I'm always at work.
Excellent, excellent. All right, well.
And I'd like to, personally, I'd like to thank everyone for who's attending and learning about accessibility and our tool. It shows that there are a lot of interested people out there regarding the ability of, just to make the Internet more accessible to everyone, which is, when it was first invented, it was supposed to be accessible to everyone. And that's why the W3C put out the WCAG 2 guidelines. Great. I just think it's awesome to hear and see that there are a lot of people still interested.
All right, sounds fantastic. Well, Kim, I want to thank you for joining us today and partnering with Kentico. One last question, which I think is probably a good one. Is there separate pricing agreements that you guys have for nonprofit and state governments?
No, it's all pretty much the same. We kept it all, it's, as I had said, it typically runs anywhere between $20 and $50 per month. We have annual memberships, and it's just straightforward for no matter who you are. We wanted to keep the playing field very level.
Excellent. All right. Well, I appreciate, like I said, everyone joining us today. It sounds like we got our last question. Kim, I appreciate you spending the time. And for those people attending, we will go ahead and provide this at our devnet.kentico.com/video site, barring any technical issue, probably within the next day or two. And as always, you have any questions about Kentico, you can feel free to contact myself. And more information on the Bureau of Internet Accessibility, please feel free to contact Kim. So with that, I want to thank everyone for joining us, and Kim, thank you for joining us especially.
Oh, thank you so much, Tom. Greatly appreciate it.
All right. Everyone have a great rest of your day, or I guess the early part of your evening, depending on where you're located.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.